Welcome to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. I'm Stuart Welbourn, a British author and former therapist, and each week I sit down with Wa-Na-Nee-Che, a spiritual elder from Turtle Island, to explore the deeper truths behind healing, ceremony, and connection to Source. Good evening, or afternoon, isn't it for you?
Afternoon, and it's evening for you.
Yes. We'll see if anybody joins us live. That's if I've set it up right. There's always a chance I've got that wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be promoting Screamfest. I don't work there anymore.
I thought you were turning Japanese there for a minute.
Okay, is there anything you want to talk about to get the ball rolling then, Wa-Na-Nee-Che?
Yeah, I was sitting there early this morning, and I kind of went into either a dream or a vision. And in the vision, I remembered the first time that the energies came to me, and they showed me the emblem for the human circle of life. And they explained it to me, saying that only the red color was in balance, and that the other three colors were out of balance. And then they asked me if I would be willing to spread the word that would allow the other three colors to turn around and come upright, and to teach them basically how to return to the red road. But then I became very frustrated in the vision because it seemed like people were not interested in trying to get back to who they originally were, and that they were so far gone that they had forgotten about their own pathway. So they were led off the pathway by other interests, and I became very frustrated and a little disturbed. But then I remembered the rest of the vision, where they said only a few will be chosen and only a few will choose. So then I felt a lot better, saying that as long as there's some out there who are choosing to follow their pathway and finding their pathway, that it was worth my effort to make sure that they understood what they needed to do. Because when you sit there and you get the visions and you get the information that will help people, all of a sudden people are not interested. They're not interested in finding who they are. They're not interested in following their pathway. They're led astray because they want what that person wants. Like, say, for instance, being me, a lot of people sit there and want to be just like me. Well, they can't. They have to be like them. They have to figure out who they are, and then we can walk together hand in hand on a road that will lead us to salvation. People don't realize how close we are to destruction of the human race, how we're near the destruction of people who are so involved in being someone else that they forget who they are. Now, I was looking at the wisdom and the information that was given to me, and I was over it, and then I finally realized when I looked at a prophecy by the Hopi that I started doing this back in the 1990s. So it's been, 35 years now that I've been trying to instruct people to make them aware that they need to find out who they are and what their pathway is. Now, if you remember some of the telecasts that we were doing, I talked about the warning signs. And I talked about these warning signs long ago. And I happened to be kind of going over things on Facebook, and I came across the Hopi prophecy again. And everything I read inside the Hopi prophecy, I was already doing. I was already warning people that things were coming as a sign that they needed to wake up. They talk about the destructions of volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, floods, and yet everything is written in that prophecy. But they also say that we will be once more become one with the Red Road. But only a few will understand it, and only a few will find salvation. They said the third world, the shaking world, is here. It has started. And if people don't wake up, and when the time comes and the prophecy is fulfilled, a lot of people are going to be saying, "Oh, can I join?" No, too late. That's what the human circle is all about. And I also found out that the human circle of life, the way the emblem is actually the sacred hoop. And how the sacred hoop can be fixed, but it can't be fixed by me. It's got to be fixed by the human beings. It can be fixed by them choosing to find their pathway. A lot of them are on their pathway, but they don't realize it and they don't understand it because they don't have the full information. Any person that has a lot of compassion, a lot of love for life, for other human beings, and for nation are on the pathway of the sacred hoop. They just got to realize it. And they got to basically become serious enough that they are willing to learn. I'm here in Colorado. I'm not doing anything. I'm available. So if people want to really learn and how to connect to the human circle of life, to the sacred hoop, I'm here doing nothing. I'm doing broadcast. Now, if they want to get off, how I say it, off the stool in the bathroom and do something about it, then contact me. And we can set up lectures, workshops to get people back on the right track. I can teach them how to utilize the tools that will get them there. But they have, when you look at it, they have freedom of choice. I can't hold a gun to their head and say, learn this. They got to do it freely. They're the ones that basically have been given the responsibility to walk the red road. And I'm here to help and assist any way I can so that they will find their pathway and become those who choose to become part of the chosen people. Even when I have to laugh sometimes when I'm watching all these stuff on TV about, say, Israel, about how they're trying to get money from the American people to support the chosen people in Israel. I'm sorry, but the Israelites are not the chosen people. The chosen people are those who choose to follow the pathway. So if you're not following that pathway, when if the chosen people, say for instance, say like Israel, if they were following the rules and regulations that were set down by Jesus, why are they killing people in Gaza? Where's the love that they were supposed to have? So they can't be the chosen people if they've chosen hatred. I don't know if you were listening to the Academy Awards, or not the Academy Awards, but the Music Awards, and Bunny came out and really hit everything on the nail when he said hate. Bunny, the guy that's doing the halfway show for the NFL, he's a real famous singer, and he said hate is bringing more hate. And he said you can't resolve hatred with hatred. He said the only way that you can basically resolve hatred is with love. Love can defeat hatred. He said, but how many people are doing that? And he got a standing ovation from all the celebrities for those words. You wouldn't expect those things coming from him, but it came from him, and to show that basically he has a good heart and he understands the issues that are happening today. But that's what people have to understand, that if they can't find love within their own hearts, how do they accept, how do they expect to find their pathway? So it's going to be up to them. I'm leaving it in their hands, and hopefully they will finally listen, and we'll get a very good response.
You said that the at the start that the red was in balance, but is the red in balance? Because you've got, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but a lot of the indigenous people are not following the old ways, are they? I think you were saying. I mean, you've got things like the pipeline. I forgot what it was called now. Where everyone was protesting.
Yeah.
And people on reservations. Basically, you've got people on your land, haven't you? And you've had them for a few hundred years now. So is the red in balance then?
Well, even when you look at it, those people who say they are indigenous, they're no longer indigenous. If they don't follow the old ways and the pathway of the old ways, they're Native American Indians. And they have become part of the dominant society. And they're no longer interested in the teachings of the old ways. So they're walking away, and they don't have the right to call themselves indigenous until they find that pathway and they walk that pathway. That's why indigenous means those people who choose to walk the pathway, that are real humans of the earth. And like I said before, anybody can become indigenous if they become a real person of the earth and they follow the teachings of the Red Road.
And that's regardless of your skin color, then.
Yeah. But when you look at Facebook and all the stuff that there's being put on there, there's some very helpful things on there that are being said about the indigenous people. But then I really get upset when I see Native women sitting there half naked. That's not being traditional. That's basically egotistical. Their ego's taken over. And what they should do is, if they're going to do something right. Don't sell sex on Facebook. So that really, but then again, that's up to them. They have the freedom to do that. If that's who they feel they are, and if that's what they feel they need, then more power to them. But for me, it's upsetting. But then again, people will be people.
Yeah. Standing Rock, thank you, Linda. She was on about the pipeline. She just messaged. But she's not got a question yet. What about then? Because you say people need to follow the red road. What about people that are following other paths then, like the Buddhists and Hindus and other people in other faiths that are following the heart and the teachings of love?
Well, in Buddhism and other religions, Hinduism and everything, there are, like the monks, who believe in peace. So they are actually walking the red road. But just that it's a different type of view, and it has a different type of name. But when it finally comes down to it, it's a sacred hoop. Just like I don't know if you've seen the monks that are walking from one place to another place here in America. It's from East Coast to West Coast, and they're walking on a peace walk.
Currently?
Yeah, currently. And people are starting to respond to it, which is good. So every time they go to a certain city, the police escort them. And there's an interchange of peace and love between the monks and the police department. So they may call themselves Buddhists, they may call them gurus, but if they're walking that pathway of love, they're walking the sacred path. They're part of the sacred hoop. You don't have to physically say, "Oh, I'm a member of the sacred hoop," because if you're walking your pathway, you're automatically part of the sacred hoop.
Right, thanks for the clarification on that. These monks, then, I'm intrigued by what you said there. Are they of a particular denomination, and how many of them are there doing it?
Unlimited.
No, I mean, how many people are doing this East Coast to West Coast walk, these monks that you just mentioned?
Well, actually, every place they go, there's crowds,
Hmm.
thousands of people gathering to wish them love and peace.
Yeah, but who are
No
they? I mean,
matter,
what
yeah,
denomination are they? Are they
they're Buddhist monks.
Buddhist monks, right?
Yeah,
And how many of them are doing it?
I believe there's 7 of them,
All right, cool.
which is a magical number.
Are they American Buddhists then?
They're what?
Are they American Buddhists, or have they come over to
No, no,
America?
no. I believe they're from Tibet.
Right,
I could be wrong, but they're not from America. But then
right.
again, they could be too. Who knows where they originate from?
I wonder if they had to have their social media checked when they arrive
Yeah,
then. Yeah, I won't be coming to America anytime soon then, if you got to have your social media checked.
I always got a kick. There was a little cartoon on there that said, and this cowboy's talking to this Indian or this native person. They said, "Why don't you speak the language of this country?" And the reply is, he said, "Why don't you?"
Okay, got a question. Uh, no, don't. Can you talk about the medicine wheel and its teachings, and can anyone make one and have it in their garden?
Okay, well, a medicine wheel is not a medicine wheel. It's an acon.
It's a what?
Acon. Acon is a traveling portal.
Right.
So the medicine wheel, like I said, is not a medicine wheel. It is a symbol that was utilized so people could go into vision and travel and go places. There's a story about how warriors of this one tribe were in the Bighorn Mountain area. And they were on a mountaintop and they were surrounded by the soldiers. There was no escape. So they sang their death song. And as they sang their death song, they made a acon, a wheel. And when they got done, the wheel opened up and they went through it. And they were transported to another part of the world. And when the soldiers came up there to basically kill them all, there was no one there. And this is supposed to be a true story. So that's why I say acon is like a traveling uh, collection of a symbol that is utilized to basically send your prayers through.
Whether you call it, whatever you just said, Acon, did you say?
That's an acon, yeah.
Or a medicine wheel? What are we actually
Yeah,
referring to? Because the
yeah.
question is, can anybody make one? I don't.
Oh, anybody can make one as long as they understand why they're doing it. Because if you look at it, when you have the circle on the outside, then you have the 28 spokes that lead to the center. The center is a circle. So there's your portal.
Is this similar to a dream catcher then?
Pardon?
Is this similar to a dream catcher? What you're talking
A
about?
dream catcher is something completely different. I know that it's very popular, but a lot of people don't understand exactly what a dream catcher really is because the indigenous people never finished the story. And so, again, the dream catcher is basically utilized in the wrong way.
So what's the wrong way and what's the right way?
The right way, basically, again, is when you make your dream catchers to catch things, but it doesn't become a spiritual thing until you add the one thing that keeps the negative energy away from you. That is sage.
Okay.
So you take sage in your hand, you roll it into a ball, but you talk to it and you tell it exactly what you want it to do within the dream catcher. So then, if once it's in a bowl, you take it, you place it in the center of the dream catcher. Now it has a purpose. Now it has become a doorway that protects you from any negative energy coming in.
So that's the purpose of a dream catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, Acon or whatever you call it, just
Oh,
looking at it though, like that looks similar. It's the round thing. Then how do you make an Acon then?
oh, like I say, it takes 4 days to make it in Japan.
Is this a joke?
A lot of people are buying the dream catchers that already been made
Oh,
here.
you're on about the dream catchers. No, I'm on about the medicine wheel. How do you make one?
Well, again, you have to put the if it's meant for you to be, if it's meant for you to make one, they will show you in a vision how to make a sacred wheel. They'll tell you the number of rocks that you use within the circle itself, then the spokes, how many rocks there'll be in the spokes for you to get into the center. And when you look at it, there's a lot more than just 28 spokes. You have 144,000.
That's going to take some making.
But the 28 is just to basically get you started so that you can recognize the other 140 some thousand that you have to be on. So the medicine wheel, as they call it, the sacred hoop, will teach you how to find the center, to find your center. Because within the center, again, there is no color. There's unity. You are now one with everyone, and there is no difference. There is no different races because there is no such thing as other races. You're either the human race or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But all the colors come together and it disappears because now you're one with everyone else.
So to answer the question then, somebody could make one themselves then, but it would come in a vision. But I do have to ask, because you said like the story of people being transported via one. What else can you use it for then? Because I can't imagine that many people will be transporting like, beam me up Scotty type thing all over the world with these things. Otherwise it'd be happening a lot, I would have
Just
thought.
in a general explanation, the medicine wheel can be used for asking questions and getting answers. So it's really that simple. But you don't have to really make a medicine wheel in order to connect. You can sit yourself in a circle of tobacco, which represents the same thing, offering it in 4 directions. If you want help from the life force energies, if you want to go beyond, you add one from Mother Earth, then you add another one for the universal energies. But no matter how you do it, when you end up with the tobacco in your left hand, you talk to the Creator, talk to God, or whatever name Supreme Being comes into.
Okay, but going back to the medicine wheel then, because tobacco is expensive. It certainly is over here. Or, getting the organic stuff. Even if you were to be able to get it in America, I don't think you'd be able to send it over to us because you'd probably need an import license to send tobacco over. So the medicine wheel seems like a better option in some ways.
Well, that's why I said you don't have to actually make a circle with the tobacco, just the 4 directions or the 6 directions. It doesn't take that much tobacco to do that. It's just like when I come over, I try to bring as much tobacco as I can, and then I leave with nothing. There's a place I can't remember where, but Paul Houlihan basically there he knows people in Portugal that grows tobacco. I don't know if England, I think it's probably too wet for them to grow tobacco, but it could be a possibility, in a greenhouse or something.
Or maybe a grow tent. Well, people grow weed over here in a grow tent, so you might be able to grow tobacco in a grow tent. I don't know. You know what I mean by a grow tent?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's many reasons. One also is a lot of people, certainly in this country, I think it'll come eventually, but politically, for one of the major parties to stand up and say, we're going to legalise drugs, may put off the conservative, more conservative type voters that will go, oh, all drugs are the same. Oh, you're going to turn into a smackhead. You're going to start robbing grannies and things like that. So nobody's brave enough to stand up and go, hey, it's healthy. It can do lots of medicine stuff, and you can tax the hell out of it and raise some revenue. But it will come eventually.
Wouldn't it be nice if they accepted the healing qualities of weed
Mm.
and start doing researches on weed on how to make it better?
Wow, the research was going on. It's been going on for years on how to make it better, but just not legally.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense, they won't go with it.
Yeah. I've got another question because we're into our last kind of 10 minutes. I didn't realise we'd been going that long. Uh, Here we go. I'll ask Linda's later one. If a man was injured in a battle, we're going back to old times now then. You know,
Yep.
Custer and all them wankers. If a man was injured in a battle and blood was drawn, could they use a herb mixture to heal the wound?
They're what?
If a man was injured in battle, a brave was injured, could they use a herb mixture to heal the wound?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got to remember, too, that 70% of all known medicine today came from the indigenous people and the use of herbal entities.
Do you know what would heal such a wound? I don't know if that's what Linda's asking.
Well, let's see.
Are you going into battle, Linda?
Yeah, tobacco basically, again, is like if you add it with sage, it becomes a very powerful poultice to help heal and to pull out the poisons and stuff. So a lot of plants, there are certain type of leaves. I can't remember the name of the leaf, but I have a bunch of that grows in the back of my house here. It's for indigestion problems, but it's also for healing. And they showed me there was a healing entity, and my nephew had a severe cut on his leg, and he came into the lodge, and I applied it. I soaked it in water, and then I applied it to his wound. And when the lodge was done and we walked out, the wound was almost healed. So then I just looked at it and I said, well, it wasn't me. So whatever that entity was within that herb, that leaf, was very, people would say magical, you know. But everything that we are made of, I'm being reminded by the energies right now that we are made up of everything upon the earth, above the earth, and below the earth. So we're a part of everything. Everything is part of us. So that when we have a deficiency within our own body, we can find a herbal entity that will help balance us. And a lot of times we will actually be shown things that will help us heal, but we kind of put it away in the back of our heads, and we go running to the pharmacy, we go running to the doctor, we run up to the healer when we're being shown, but we don't realize that we actually will see what'll help cure us. because we're no longer into, how would you say, our heart, so that our energy can see it. We're too much into our mind, that we've been influenced too much by society on run to the pharmacy.
I was going to say, over here, you'd be lucky to get an appointment to see a doctor, though. Another quick question then, from because Linda is possibly going into battle, she says. So, is she here? She had another question earlier. Why did tribes wear war paint before going into battle? And also, how did they prepare? She's clearly planning a battle here. So, how did they prepare for battle, and why did they wear war paint?
A lot of things, again, colors were magical, and it represented a, like the colors they wore themselves represented the colors that they were connected to, so that when they went into battle, they didn't fear death. The colors basically was a way to transform them. If they did get killed, they were transformed and they ascended. But it wasn't really war paint. It was basically spiritual paint.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad when people ask questions, because, like I said, I don't know the answer until they ask the question, and then I get little whispers in my ear explaining why they did something. But again, Hollywood,
Yeah.
no, war paint.
Okay, since we're on that topic, and we've only got 3 minutes left, and you got to bear in mind, I'm talking Hollywood here and all that. In all the films, the indigenous people would scalp, the white man or whatever. Why was it? Why the scalp? Was there some kind of mystical thing going on there?
It was a French thing.
A French thing.
Yeah, you got to remember that most of the tribes basically allied themselves with the French during the French and English War. They call it the French Indian Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But the French offered money to the tribes to kill English people. But they didn't want the natives to basically bring the bodies to them. So they said, bring their scalps.
Ah.
So it's a French tradition, not an Indian tradition, not a native tradition.
The old enemy.
That's where scalping came from.
Yeah, England and France have had a long history, haven't they?
But see, that's why I said that the truth is, I mean, look at all your movies. How many movie stars started off in westerns killing native people? People you wouldn't even expect it. There they were. So the portrait of the native people were nothing but savages, heathens, and killers. So no one ever knows the true story. A lot
I
of
think
them.
some more modern films have like switched the balance a little bit, haven't they? But if we look at the older films,
Dances with Wolves. But again, it took a white man to basically teach him.
hey, what about?
Do.
Here's one for you. Elvis played. Was it Cochise that he played?
Well, let's see.
I'm sure that was one Elvis did.
It was called where he played an Indian, half white, half Indian, and he was trying to make peace between the tribe and the witch cult. I can't remember the name of the movie.
What, with Elvis?
I don't think he ever played Cochise.
I'm sure he played. I'm sure I saw that when I was a kid. I might be imagining it. We're in the last minute, so we're going to have to wrap up now. Anybody? We've had a few people on today live, so I hope they could hear you, even if Linda couldn't. And do come back next Monday, because we will be live again. Because we're going to get kicked out any second now. This broadcast will just end. But thank you. It's been an interesting chat. Thanks for listening to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. If you'd like to ask Wa-Na-Nee-Che a question, you can email me at stuart@realityresponsibility.com. The link will be in the description. And don't forget, you can download a powerful guided meditation for free at humancircleoflife.com.